Hey guys, I know it's been a long ass time since I've done a review on an air product, specifically an airplane. Honestly can't remember the last time or last plane that I did. I have a Valiant 10cc that I am working on that has been on my bench for way too long, but I wanted to do something quick, get back to the field, so I've picked up this Tower Hobbies Cherokee. This is the receiver ready version. It even though it is receiver ready, there are some ARF type things that you have to do. Not a whole bunch, but some gluing, some measuring, and of course balancing and programming. But altogether, it should go together. It should go together in a couple hours. I'm super paranoid, so I usually take longer. So let's see. Can I tell you right off the bat? It's got tricycle gear. Looks great. It's relatively small, but it's nice. Some of you might see this as a good thing, some might see it as a bad thing, but it is a one-piece wing, and once you put it on the plane, it's pretty much going to stay there because you glue this fairing right there, yeah, you're pretty much stuck there. It's not an issue though. It's a small enough plane that you can fit it into any car. I drive a Prius. I can put 6 planes in there, including giant scale. So what else? It's 4-channel. You have ailerons, no flaps. It's gorgeous, as you can see. There's a place for a pilot figure. The receiver ready plane comes with everything you need in terms of even the propeller and the spinner and that kind of thing. It does not come with batteries or receiver. Speaking of receivers, I'm also testing the new antenna-less, bind plug-less Spectrum receivers. I've got a couple 4-channels and a 6-channel that I'm going to be testing. And by testing, that really just, for me, just means flying the hell out of my planes. Setup was extremely easy. Of course, you just press the button instead of sticking a bind plug in there. It's super clean. There are no antenna to have to route anywhere, so it just makes things really easy. This footprint is small, looks good, and as you know, I've always loved my Spectrum stuff. Let me see. Yeah, nothing else comes to mind right off the bat. Like I said, it took me maybe a couple hours to get it put together, another half hour, 45 minutes to program and balance it. So let's go. Anyway, let's get it. Let me get some footage. Alright guys, I'm going to give you the maiden flight of the Tower Hobbies Cherokee. I've never flown it before. It's literally my first time. So here we go. Grass is a little long for, there you go. Can't tell if I need to trim it out. I can't really tell if it's pulling up or not. Seems to be flying pretty well. Have it on high rates. Let's see how a roll goes. Nice. don't really see a need to fly it on low rates. Sorry if you can't see it. It's a small plane. And seems to track well. I can't tell if my trim is off. I think it's a wind that's up there. Like I said, it's a small plane, so it might get bounced around a little bit. Flying at about maybe 60% throttle. I'll do a low pass at full speed, see what that looks like. Keep in mind this is a Cherokee though. That's full throttle there. Bring it in closer. Pretty happy with it so far. I'm always nervous on a first flight. Don't know what to expect. My hands actually get shaky after all this time of flying. Let me put on my lower rates. Oh, just as nice. See how it loops. Easy loop. Hope you can see this flight. If not, not that I'll know until I post it, but I'll try to take a closer proximity flight. So far though, it flies as nice as it looks. I put my timer at 4 minutes too with my 3-cell 2200 milliamp battery. Let's see what 4 minutes looks like when I put the battery checker on it. Alright, my next pass I'll come in for landing. See how well it slows down. Well, that one was a kind of quick landing, but it came in nice and even. I think I'm mowing the grass here. There you have it, Maiden Flight with the Tower Hobbies Cherokee. Alright, this is my next flight with the Tower Hobbies Cherokee. I'll try to be a little bit more adventuresome, and I'll try to bring it in closer. So here we go.
That thing's fast.
Just got a comment that is pretty fast, and it definitely is for its size. The wind is picking up, so the Wings are getting bounced around a little bit. Feels great though. Do another low, fast pass. Yeah, once you get past the tree line, it gets bounced around a lot. I also put my timer at 6 minutes. I had it at 4 minutes, and I came down with almost half the battery pack. Tell you what though, it really flies nice at about 60% throttle. I'll do some more rolls here. That was pretty sloppy, but just to see what it can do on high rates. Yeah, it's really getting bounced around, and it's really not that windy. Let me invert it. Well, in a second, I will invert it. A pretty fair amount of down elevator for flying inverted. Yeah, I think I still have my settings a little too twitchy. I'm gonna tone it down for my my next flights. When I was setting up, the throws were a little they seemed a bit short. I wasn't getting the measurements that they recommended, but so I increased the travel. I'm kind of thinking it doesn't need it. Same thing, I've made it a little bit twitchy. Let's slow it down a little bit and see how well it does slow. I think it likes speed. Get a little wing drop when you slow down too much on the turns. Kind of wish it had flaps. That'd be a bit more scale, but it is gorgeous for its size and definitely for its price. Maybe try a knife edge. It's windy, so I might not be able to hold it, and the rudder is not all that big, so we'll see what it does though when I try. Yeah, well, it didn't really look like one, but it did start to drop once I put it that way. Granted, a Piper Cherokee is not the ideal choice for knife edging. Yeah, it's just gonna drop. See how close I can do a flyby. I love how tight that roll is. I think you're gonna have more fun at higher speeds with this sucker. I'm bringing it in for a landing. Sweet. There you have it. Okay guys, this is the last flight I'm gonna test today, and as I mentioned in the last flight video, I felt a little twitchy, so I went ahead and lowered my my travel rate on the ailerons back to 120. I had them at 150 because I didn't feel like I was getting the throw that was called for in the manual. But I kind of think there's a little bit too much for this style plane. I didn't go all the way back to just 100, so I have them at 120. So that should be right about where they're asking. Anyway, let's see what this feels like. Still gonna fly in high rates. Here we go. Honestly, it doesn't feel much different. I didn't expect a world of difference, but still feels nice. That's the important part. Yeah, the wind is definitely picking up. This thing's getting bounced around like it's nobody's business. Oh yeah. You know, it's little and it's light. It will fly in higher winds, but you got to know what you're doing, and I would not recommend flying low when you are flying this and it's windy, because you know any erratic movement that the wind might make you do might of course spike you into the ground, which is never good. See, like right there, that turn with the wind is kind of a bitch. There's a sustained breeze. I think the Weather Channel says we have about 10-mile-per-hour gusts, and as I mentioned, above these, once you get above the tree line, you get a nice wind shear going across, and it really just will either push a wing down or lift a wing. That said, if you're at least an intermediate pilot, you're not going to really have a whole bunch of trouble. Might give you a little pucker here and there when you get a sudden movement that you didn't put in yourself. I suppose a plane this size and this light could benefit from Spectrum's AS3X line of receivers. I'll maybe give it a shot. But yeah, like I said, not really a huge issue flying in the wind, but I think you will get the more pleasurable flights on a less windy day, probably about 6 miles per hour and lower. When I first got here, it was dead calm and it was awesome. Now I'm bouncing all over the place. It's like driving on a bumpy road. Do a little. Yeah, the rolls didn't suffer whatsoever on the lower travel rate on the ailerons. Anyway, with that out of the way, I am going to go ahead and land this sucker and wrap up this review. It does come in a little hot. Kind of a crosswind, so it kind of adjusts this. I don't know if if the wind was at my tail or not, but whatever. It's a fun plane. For that matter, may as well wrap it up right here. I will continue to mess with the settings on this guy. I want to lower the twitch. I already have my dual rates, or my expo on my high rate expo is at 45 right now, which should tone it down quite a bit, and it's not bad. But with the wind, well, what am I saying? I can't tell if it's the wind that's making it twitchy or if it's, my throws and my expo. Whatever the case, it's a smooth flying plane, especially with no wind. It was really, really tracking nicely. The CG is very forgiving. I would recommend using the CG that's in the manual. Mine's perfectly balanced on that. You can easily fly 6 minutes on this thing with a 2200 milliamp 3-cell battery. And it's just gorgeous. I mean, I've always loved Cherokees, and no one has ever made the right one. They've made it too big or too, not quite scale looking, and this thing just looks awesome. It's a great looking plane. It's cheap, in my opinion. It's the price you'd pay for a foamy, but of course you're getting a nice balsa with, I didn't even have to iron this thing at all. It's got the clear canopy, or the clear windows anyway. It's just gorgeous. And I've always wanted a Cherokee. This one is small enough that I didn't get dirty looks from my wife when I built it, and was able to store it quite easily. It's just a nice plane. It's one that you will definitely be happy with. I love balsa. I still like my foamies, but I prefer balsa. So I know E-Flight has a foamy about this size, maybe a little bit bigger. But this is one hell of a plane, and if you like balsa, I would definitely go this route. There is nothing that I would say was glaring. There's nothing that I really have to complain about. It's just gorgeous. It's inexpensive, and it's fun. And you're going to get a lot of comments at the field just because it's real good looking. And practice your landings. It comes in relatively quick, so make sure you have enough space. And I think you'll like it. So if you have any questions, comment below or email me, and I'd be happy to help. Take it easy, guys.